These are our family documents, going back over 100 years to my parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Turkish, Hebrew, French, Latin, Romanian, English, German. These papers have renamed them, told them who to be, what to believe, where to live, and how to live, and have sometimes meant the difference between life and death. I see them as the leaves of my parents' lives, falling now in the autumn of my own. Where will they take me before I am dust and ashes? This is how life began for me. An African landscape, a broad sky arcing over my head, a place of no boundaries. Here I felt very much in tune with the rhythms of the land, Maasai land, where their cattle roamed with ours over the plains of Athi. I am a child of Africa, born in Kenya, where my parents arrived as refugees in 1942. This is Erica, my mother. She had red hair, blue eyes, long legs. She always said she had gypsy blood, but she was really Jewish and grew up bourgeois in Bucharest, where she studied architecture.
Ever since I was a little girl, I decided that one day I would come to Africa and look at what was in all the places that were white on the atlas and marked as unknown territory.
This is my father, Igor.
I was a rebel to a regime. I was kicked out. I ran away for years from Poland.
He was a small man with lizard eyes and leathery skin, a Polish Jew from Przemysl, a poser for a photograph, and a pacifist who never shot a gun in his life. Pa was a veterinarian and parasitologist. His first job was as a meat inspector at a factory where they made corned beef for the British Army. Our farm lay right across the road. The train from Nairobi to Mombasa passed right through it, the very same train that Theodore Roosevelt rode in 1909 on his African safari. And so we lived here on our farm in Africa.
Other staff here, being British, didn't fraternize with you?
We didn't, we were bloody foreigners. So this was our kitchen. This was the children's room. That was Papa's bedroom. That was my room.
You had separate rooms?
Always. The sitting room to which we brought Mama. And when she came here, she said, "How can you tell me that you're doing well? You have no carpets, you have no crystal. What is this? I said, it took about 20 years before we became just foreigners, not bloody foreigners.
First came my sister, Rhodia, nicknamed Puku, then myself, known as Iki, and lastly our little brother Oscar, no nickname for him.
If you should meet an elephant upon a summer's day, what would you do? What would you...
The rainwater tank seemed vast, a place of hidden mystery.
This tank, I used to be in awe of it was so big.
At the factory, Pa had shown me microscopic parasites. I discovered an invisible world pulsing beneath the shadows of our everyday lives. And so I learned that things are not always as they seem. Nearby was a lush grove of papaya where I hid, lost in fantasy.
Once upon a time, there lived a king and a queen, haunted by spirits.
I found Stone Age arrowheads there and placed my fingers where other hands had held them so long ago. Who had left them here for me to find? Ma said that ancient paths crossed our land, where people thousands of years ago had wandered, looking for better places to live. But try as I might, I could find no traces of those paths. And not far from our farm ran the equator, that magic line that divided north from south. You could straddle it with 1 foot in each hemisphere. The very thought made my mind spin. In which hemisphere did I belong? Who might I have been if my parents hadn't been forced to leave Europe? And how come my Maasai friends could name their cattle for so many generations back, but I couldn't name my own grandfather? It was all a great mystery.
Nici găină, în curte, nici mălai, n-avem de